Two Israeli officials tell CBS News that the deal is expected to hold, but the full parliament vote has slid from today to Saturday, and the first hostage release could slide from Sunday into Monday. The vote was postponed when Netanyahu accused Hamas of reneging on part of the agreement. Israeli officials now say the dispute has been worked out. The first phase of the deal includes a 6-week ceasefire and a series of swaps of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. For now, the fighting continues with Israeli airstrikes killing more than 80 people in the last 24 hours. That's according to Hamas officials in Gaza. Once again, CBS's Elizabeth Palmer leads us off tonight from Tel Aviv. Good evening, Liz.
Good evening, Nora. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's been in a really tight spot. He's under huge pressure to sign off on this deal, but if he does, he risks losing crucial support from right-wingers in his cabinet and then perhaps early elections. One thing is for sure, though, this delay has got a lot of people very rattled.
Pulled alive from the ruins of a house destroyed last night, this baby could be one of the last casualties of the war. But as morning dawned in Gaza, even if there was still hope for a ceasefire on Sunday, there was no certainty. In Israel, too, there's anxiety that the deal may collapse before all or even any of the hostages can be freed. Udi Goren's cousin Tal Chaim was killed on October 7th. And Hamas terrorists took his body into Gaza.
He deserves this respect of not having the body just rot away somewhere in Gaza.
Goren became an activist, pressing Israel's government to do whatever it took to get back all the hostages, living and dead. He fears this drawn-out deal with all its complexities could collapse at any stage.
One of our biggest concerns is that once they start negotiating part 2, they will not reach an agreement.
And it'll all fall apart.
Fall apart, and that's it. And the deal ends in phase 1.
And back to war.
And back to war.
That war is as much a threat to the hostages as it is to the people of Gaza. They're all trapped in it, though now with a ceasefire just within reach.
So I'm wondering whether tonight you're allowing yourself to feel hopeful.
No.
Still not?
No, absolutely not. We don't have a deal yet. We don't have a deal. It hasn't been signed.
Now, the government may sign off on that deal in the next couple of days, but that's when the hard part starts. As we've said, it's very complicated and it is going to be fragile because Israel and Hamas have to implement it in lockstep, and Nora, they have zero trust in one another.
Liz Palmer from Tel Aviv. Thank you, Liz. The stage is being set for Trump's inauguration on Monday, and the list of tech titans who will be on the platform near President-elect Donald Trump is growing. It now includes the CEO of TikTok, the day after his app may be banned in the United States. CBS's Nancy Cordes reports on the increasingly cozy relationship between the next president and some of the richest men in the world.
I, Donald John Trump.
When President-elect Trump is sworn in at noon on Monday, TikTok CEO Shou Chew will have a better seat than most members of Congress. The invitation disappointed lawmakers from both sides today.
Not my favorite thing. Not my favorite thing.
Democrats and Republicans agreed that TikTok is a huge national security concern.
Back in 2020, Trump agreed and tried to force TikTok's Chinese owners to sell the social media platform to a U.S. company.
We voting Donald Trump, baby.
But an avalanche of pro-Trump content on TikTok during the campaign appeared to change his mind.
You know, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok.
Now the Trump team is looking for ways to buy TikTok some time, with a U.S. ban on the app set to take effect this Sunday. Chew will be seated Monday alongside other tech titans, including Tesla's Elon Musk, Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, and Amazon's Jeff Bezos. Those three alone have a combined net worth close to $1 trillion.
An oligarchy is taking shape in America.
In his farewell address last night, President Biden issued a warning about what he described as the tech industrial complex and the rich men who run it.
And that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people.
Trump's pick for Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, who is a billionaire himself, was asked about that at his confirmation hearing today.
With so few people have so much wealth and power,
But
do you think that that is an oligarchic form of society?
I think it depends on the ability to move up and down the income.
No, that's not really the answer.
TikTok's fate is still up in the air tonight. Some lawmakers are pushing to delay Sunday's ban to give the company more time to find a U.S. buyer. And we're still watching to see whether the Supreme Court weighs in at Trump's request. Tomorrow would be their last day to work to do it, Nora, before the ban goes into effect on Sunday.
So many watching very closely. Nancy Cordes, thank you. We wanted to see firsthand where all those tech CEOs, lawmakers, and former presidents will sit on Monday. So we went to Capitol Hill for rare access to the inauguration platform and sat down with Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar and Republican Senator Deb Fischer. They are members of the inauguration committee.
It's kind of an unbelievable thing how many people come to this. There's people that have not missed one for, ever. They keep coming back.
And this is where the president's platform is.
As the president will stand here and make his inaugural address. This is what he'll see, except filled with people.
So with less than a week out, what are you excited about? What are you fearful about?
This has been a long time in the making. This started before we knew who was going to win the presidency. We're going to see another peaceful transfer of power, which is what is so important to our country. You see former presidents of both political parties here who may disagree with each other, obviously. This is a great democracy, and no matter if your party wins or loses, we respect that democracy. That's what this ceremony is about. It's just been fun to see this come together. This platform is constructed brand new every 4 years, and that shows a new beginning.
How will security be different?
That's a big issue, obviously, because we've seen not just threats, but action taken against a president-elect. Security adapts to these changes when they take place, when threats are out there. We have to put our faith in the Capitol Police and the Secret Service to be able to handle any situation that comes up. There have been major security reviews, obviously, since the assassination attempt, but also actually since 4 years ago with the Electoral College Day, January 6th. And I think all of the security reviews that have been done when mistakes have been made in the past, not at this event, but at others, will only contribute to better security.
Senator, inauguration, celebration of a new president in a bipartisan fashion. What challenges, though, do you see are ahead for Donald Trump?
Well, there's major challenges for our country. The American people would like to see people work together. To me, our job is under the Constitution. We have to protect and defend the Constitution. And to me, that means sometimes we're going to stand our ground, and when we can, we find common ground.
CBS News will have extensive coverage of the presidential inauguration starting Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern right here on CBS and our streaming channel, CBS News 24/7.